First of all, congratulations on this project. It is fantastic. For you as a producer, what were you looking for in this script that you got on screen? Because it was very well done.
Oh my God, thank you. I mean, what we were looking for was, the suspense and the terror of the original strangers, the what I call true horror. You
Mhm.
know, um, we were looking, to terrify the audience in a real way that, the next time, you hear at your door at home, you just give it a second thought because it resonated with you that much. Because the thing about the original strangers and just doing these three chapters is this, you know, unfortunately can happen to any of us really. And then we have all the subgenres of horror that we all know where we would love to go on the ride of those movies, but in the back of our mind, we're like, that shit's never gonna happen to me. Like, that's like, that monster's never coming out and getting me, but I had a great time in that movie. In this movie, it resonates with all people on a different level because it can actually happen. And there are people out there that do that sort of thing randomly, and we read about them all the time. And we don't know what makes them tick. And part of what we're doing in this larger movie is getting a little glimpse into what's behind the mask on a psychological and sort of like, emotional level. So I think that's really what the goal of the movie was to really, make it resonate with you as an audience and go, shit, that was just really, really terrifying.
It definitely is very terrifying. Even more so the fact that these characters, the strangers, we have no idea who they are. How important is it to keep that mystery?
I mean, so here's the thing. Part of like the whole idea in doing the larger movie, and we wrote a 289-page script, right? It's three chapters because we just wrote a badass long ass script. I mean, to be honest with you, and you know, these strangers are messed up people, you know, and so I don't want to and didn't want to in putting this together get to telling you too much about where they came from or any of that because it takes away all that mystery. I just wanted to give you glimpses into the antagonist as you're on the journey with the protagonist and also seeing how they get affected by what those people are doing. So to answer your question, we don't like throw out there, well, on this day they became the strangers because this happened, and so therefore that's what it is and that's who they are, whatever else. You never really know by the end of it. That part of it, to stay in the vein of the original strangers, is how we had to approach it, right? So instead, though, you get a little bit more about the dark place their mind is in. That's where we go. We take you into the dark mind, and just for glimpses, because remember, they're not people that are big on giving speeches.
Mhm.
So, there's words, and what we do is we do take you back in time a few times to see where they were up to as strangers,
Definitely. And like you said, there's
which I
very
think is super cool.
it is. It's extremely amazing. The human mind creates more terrifying things than I think you could ever show on screen. But these strangers, like you said, have very few dialogue. But what they're saying is so simple, yet it's so terrifying. How do you find a cast member who can do that?
That was super tough, but we were super blessed. And it's a great point because it's so much harder to create a character behind a mask where you have no dialogue whatsoever, and yet you as an audience member or somebody else as an audience member looks and understands that character, right? And that came from a combination of how we wrote it, the actors we had performing it, Rennie, working with them, me working with them, it became a combination of all those things to become that. We added a couple of little flourishes into, humming a lullaby while doing something so horrible as if it's nothing, you know, just sort of gives you a little bit of a glimpse into where is that mind? What is that mind even thinking? Right? Because to the rest of us to look at that, couldn't even imagine doing what was being done in the first place. Forget being so nonchalant about it.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations once again on this project. It is
Thank
fantastic.
you. I love the name of your dysfunctional. I love that name, by the way.